For us expats, living in Japan comes with real sacrifices. You leave your comfort zone, your family, your friends, your language. This is the price we pay for a shot at something very special. A chance to reinvent ourselves, to become a deeper, more complete version of who we're meant to be. But the truth is, most of us never come close to our full potential here. Why is that? All right, so you probably think that I will be talking to you about the language barrier, the cultural barrier, or even the lack of opportunities foreigners are facing here in Japan. Not at all. I want to talk to you about something a lot more subtle, a lot more dangerous, basically a mindset trap that I was stuck in for several years and that I believe is the ultimate expat trap. I don't want to sound over dramatic, but I will call it the silent killer of your ambitions here in Japan. That does sound dramatic. I'm talking about this mindset where you're constantly thinking, I might not stay in Japan forever, so why should I commit? Why should I try hard? Why should I study the language, for example? You end up spending more time planning your exit than actually building a life here in Japan. And this is really what I want to talk to you about today. I want to share a little bit of my story just so you can see what happens when you switch that mindset and what happens when you actually stay within that expat mindset. Before I share with you my story and how I really felt into that expat trap, let me just explain a little bit more in details what I mean by it. It starts with this false sense of freedom, in my opinion, where you tell yourself you can leave anytime. If things get too bad or too hard, you always have that exit door waiting for you. You're not really tied down to Japan. You're an expat. You're a free person, right? You can go to, I don't know, Canada or Australia or whatever. Like, that's really where I was basically. I was constantly telling myself, I can go anywhere. And sure, that does sound like freedom, but what it actually really means, in my opinion, is the complete opposite. Because suddenly everything in your life kind of feels temporary. You don't give anything enough time and enough commitment to succeed and to build up confidence by getting good at something. You will keep your options open, sure, but in my opinion, it's really what's going to keep you stuck. Because if you think about it, anything great, anything that, you will be proud of in terms of building or achieving, it requires a lot of time. It requires commitment. And if you never give yourself that kind of wider time frame to operate in, you will never really give a shot at anything deep, right? And I'm talking about relationships, your career, entrepreneurship, love, like pretty much anything requires commitment and time. And with that expat mindset, you're completely shutting down that door, basically, right? That's the trap. You think you're free, but what you're really done is building a ceiling above your head made of all the things that you're avoiding by lack of commitment. All right, so I want to share a little bit my story now. So I've been in Japan for 6 years, and if I look at my life here in Japan, I can easily distinguish it in two chapters, let's say. The one where I'm constantly thinking I might not stay here, and the one where I'm like, okay, Japan is home, let's build something I'm extremely proud of. And so in the beginning, I think the first 3 years really, I was doing some jobs I didn't like. Eventually, I got into recruitment, which I did like, but I was always thinking very short term, both in terms of my, relationships with people and also in terms of what I was doing to make quick money. I was telling myself all the time that I was probably going to leave Japan with my wife once COVID was over. The consequences of that was, like I said, very short term thinking in terms of my career, very short term thinking about my language studying, because I was studying Japanese and it was so damn hard that at some point I was like, look, it's kind of ridiculous for me to spend so much time studying Japanese. I might not even stay here. Yeah, that's extremely stupid, Axel from the past. Because I am here. I have a business here. I have a kid here. I'm building a family here. And I'm here for the long run. And so, yeah, I didn't see value in studying the language, and I paid the price today. Stupid me. Anyway, I on top of that, I was also delaying building a family with my wife because I was like, well, we're not sure we're gonna stay in Japan, so maybe it's better for us first to settle down somewhere. And settling down is exactly what I was scared of because then back then I lived, I had lived in Canada and Australia before, and there is something extremely satisfying of moving to a new place. Like it feels like starting over, right? You're like starting fresh. So every time you kind of hit a ceiling, you can kind of move to the next thing, and you can then tell yourself, yeah, but of course I'm not, achieving great things here. I just arrived. And this is something that I kind of like found extremely appealing as an expat. Like just moving on as soon as things get a little bit harder and moving away from responsibilities and commitment. So that was constantly the mindset that I had. Eventually, what happened is I wanted to leave my recruitment agency, the first one I was at, and I went to apply for another one. And there, they kind of, I guess, they gave me a challenge that I had to really think about long term if I wanted to be successful. And that moment really kind of shifted for me. That was the moment where I was like, wait a minute. If I try this, I need to be committed. I need to think long term. But if it does pay off, I will be set for the rest of my life. I could see the opportunity. I could see the money aspect. I could see the skill acquisition from it. And that was around 4 years ago, 4 years and a half ago. And that's where I started to commit. And within those 4 years, roughly, I became a father. I made more money than I could hope for in my life. I built up confidence for me to start any real entrepreneurial project that I can think of, even like social media, YouTube, like all this stuff. I have my own business. I love what I do. There's not a single day where I'm like, man, I hate my job. I want to have a second kid. I can count, the list goes on really. But what I can tell you is that the moment that I was like, okay, let's start thinking really long term here and accept that Japan is home, I'm not going to move. I'm going to stay here. And even if I move, I will try so hard here at everything that I do just to acquire a bunch of skills. Like, man, like skills and knowledge and experience, there's no there's no border to that, right? So anyway, I really wanted to share with you that story because I think it's a trap that I see so many smart people falling into. There's a lot of people that are here in Japan and they don't really do much. They're kind of stuck, and every time I kind of meet them or catch up with them, they're like, "Yeah, I don't really like my job, but I'm probably gonna move. I'm applying for jobs overseas." Or, "Oh yeah, yeah, like I'm off. Yeah, I'm gonna build a family once I know exactly where I'm gonna live." But time goes on, and eventually it's going to blow into your face that you were just scared of committing. And I'm not saying this because I'm judging people. I'm sharing this because I want to create awareness around this because I wasn't aware. And I'm really happy I started to commit because, like, no greatness will happen if you never give yourself a real shot in terms of commitment to where you are. It can't happen. And if you're someone like me who want to live abroad to kind of figure out a better version of yourself, to kind of outgrow your current, you need that commitment. That commitment comes with confidence, and the confidence allows you to expand the comfort zone more and more. And anyway, I don't want to go too deep into this stuff, but you get what I mean. The contrast between Axel being 1 foot out and 1 foot in, and Axel being all in Japan is just so drastically different. And I wish this to pretty much any foreigner coming to Japan. You owe it to yourself, you owe it to the people you leave behind at home. And man, let's just kick some ass as foreigners here in Japan, let's achieve some real greatness. Okay. I'm going off topic completely. I took some notes, but screw it. Uh, Anyway, I was planning to make like a super elaborate video about this, and I completely butchered it and completely went off script. It doesn't matter. You get my point. If you come to Japan, just go all in from day one. Don't tell yourself you might or might not, stay here, because you don't want to end up like someone like me, for example, who still, after 6 years in Japan, doesn't speak well the language. Like, if I had known that I was going to stay here, I would have studied my ass off. And guess what? Even if I didn't stay, studying my ass off for the language will not have hurt me. It will have taught me discipline. It will have taught me that I'm capable of it. It will have given me more opportunities and more reasons to stay anyway. So, yeah, be aware of the ultimate expat trap. I will now ask you to let me know what you think of those kind of videos. If this is helpful, if what I say makes sense, make sure to let me know. I cannot stretch enough the fact that everything that I share in those YouTube videos is me sharing what I learned, what I observed for myself. I'm not judging people. We all have a different definition of what success means. I just have this deep belief that if you decide to be an expat in Japan, come to kick ass here. Don't fall into the expat trap. Don't constantly try to play a new game. Go all in. You won't regret it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.